Cool. My name's Blaskey. As you can see, I'm founder of Pooch Mutt. And I'm going to try and be really practical today, because I'm quite practical generally. One thing I'd like to point out, which is why I put this picture up, which is there are a few reasons. One, to thank Claire, because when Claire first saw our products, I had this face on here and it didn't have the Pooch Mutt at the top. And she said, no one knows what your brand's called. And I went, don't talk rubbish. Apple computers have a big apple on it. It's an icon like that icon, and everyone's going to know it. And it had won a European Design Award for packaging design, and I was like, this design's award-winning, and we're going to keep it as it is. And then a week later, it was on This Morning, and people, we had Phil and Holly were talking about our products, and Joe wanted fresh breath, and Phil needed fresh breath, and Holly needed our digestion one, and no one knew what the brand was called. So we changed it. And so you've got to admit when you're wrong. It's one thing to learn, and also awards only mean so much. Secondly, when you do start getting press, and hopefully you will, everyone will ask you for a face shot, and they will crop into your face shot as much as you can. So you want to get your brand as close to your face as you possibly can, and then your brand doesn't get cropped out when you're in the newspaper.
It's good advice, isn't it?
This is us. This is our mission and our vision and our core philosophy. And I'm not really going to explain them because it's not really relevant for you. But what I would say is, when we launched, we didn't really have a mission and a vision, and I will get onto that in a minute. And then when you read the guys from Innocent's books, and I've spoken to Paul from Ella's Kitchen, they go on about mission and vision all the time and nailing it down. And it's something you can change as you grow, but it's really important to have it. We now have these on big canvases on the office wall, because then everybody knows what they are. And the other thing is, these are really clear: helping dogs lead happy, healthy lives, and to become the #1 recommended dog health products. That's our mission and our vision. And when it comes to any decision you make, you can refer it back to that. So if some new manufacturer comes to you and says, I want you to launch this product, we go, does it help dogs lead happy, healthy lives? And will it help us become the #1 recommended dog health products? If the answer is yes, we'll look at it. If the answer is no, we won't. And so you cut loads of time out. Secondly, having a core philosophy, which is that good health starts with what we eat. Now that applies to dogs and it applies to humans. And tonight's kind of about positioning your product in the market. You want a core philosophy that works with your company, but also works with your customers. So every customer that buys that is going to buy our argument. Any customer that believes that argument, which they should, and everyone should, will buy our food and buy the argument behind our food. If someone's eating McDonald's every day, they're not going to understand that core philosophy, therefore they're not going to buy our product, therefore we shouldn't waste time speaking to them about our product. And all of these are kind of some awards that we've won. And again, this isn't a kind of, oh, we great, we won loads of awards, because sometimes awards don't mean that much. But they all fit with kind of what we want. We've won awards for design because we care about our products. We want our products to be the #1 recommended product, so they've got to look really good. Microsoft, they're doing loads of PR for us, so it doesn't matter. Grocer awards because, again, it's about the product. Great British Entrepreneur Awards because we're really proud to be British. Again, the Smart Awards was about, we won the Made in Britain Award, and it's all about showing that you care for your product. And again, we won ethical awards, and we're accredited for not testing on animals. Everything coming back to the product.
Can I ask a question?
Yes?
How did you get to your mission, vision, and philosophy?
It's a really good question. I started off, I was at a talk which was run by the Grocer, which Claire did a talk at as well, and Paul Lilly from Ella's Kitchen did a big talk all about mission and vision, which was a bit of a Kickstarter. The guys from Innocent, Richard Reed from Innocent, wrote a book about Innocent, but a lot of it comes about mission and vision. And if you just Google it, you will find a load of examples. And it sounds really stupid, but look at what loads of people are doing, and you can see it, and you can see what people are doing, and you kind of copy them, and you'll come up with about 50, and you just kind of cross them off, and you kind of think what works with you and what doesn't work with you. And they tend to be one, I mean, at least when I wrote ours, I kind of wrote them, changed them, and then kept them to myself for about a month, which probably is really bad advice, but keep it to yourself. And then you see if you're happy to then share it, because then you're going to live by it.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I think that one more thing that we usually do is, it's quite complicated because you have to describe yourself as a person, like who you are as a human being, and that helps because, well, like, why on earth did you start this business instead of, I don't know, making tractors or fast cars? Because this then helps to decide that, well, I do want this to happen. That then comes up to like to actually that simplifies the vision and to a business vision eventually. So basically, if you're a founder of a business, just, well, try to have other people to describe like why you are exceptional and what are your strengths and how do they see you. I think that's also helpful.
And I think the other thing as well, which people kind of get a little bit mixed up on, is the difference between the two, between your mission and your vision. And your vision is your kind of blue sky thinking, where would we want to be in 10 years? And it's something that you might achieve, you might not achieve, but you know, they say kind of aim for the stars and you might reach the moon. It's that kind of thing, you know. But with ours in particular, we know, for example, we are unlikely to be as big as Pedigree. But we're not even aiming to be as big as Pedigree, because that's not who we are and what we want. We don't want a load of crap products that are only sold because you've got a load of TV spent behind them, because we'll never get there. But what we can be is the #1 recommended ones, which is, again, that flows through to your marketing. So you know, we are the biggest independent British dog food brand on Facebook and on Instagram, because that's where people will recommend products. So it goes back to that. I'm going to give you a little bit about where we started, because we're talking about market position. This is my mum and dad's dog, called Cookie. And 7 years ago, she was diagnosed with a problem called hip dysplasia, which is a degenerative joint disease. And we treated her with a product made for horses, and it worked really well. And I was like, right, let's just make this into a product. And I kind of came from the wrong way about it, which is, I've got a product, it works, it's brilliant. And for 3 years, sold that and a couple of other health supplements. And they did really well, and we built our brand. But it was by being in the market that I then found the position to launch the rest of our food. And that was about 4 years ago, and we've done 100% year-on-year growth since then. And our brand and our products have all changed a lot since then. But by being in the market and knowing the market, it enabled us to know where our position was in the market. So it's very easy to go, oh, this is a gap in the market I've spotted. But you need to know that market well, or you need to speak to people that know that market well to understand if that gap really is a gap. These are our products. As I say, we're really big on being recommended. We're really big on social media. We want people, you know, you want a big, clear brand that people will take photos of, that people will share, and it will get your brand out there. All our products are functional. This is kind of where we sell. Seemingly everybody who's got a green logo, which is good. But Waitrose, Cardo, Pets at Home, and lots of other independents. We've just got into Superdrug, which is really weird, and we'll see what happens with that, but they're launching a big pet thing. We're a health company, we see ourselves as a health company, so it's a nice fit for us, and we'll see where we go. This is a really simple, really practical way of looking at what your position is in the market. And your axis can be what you want it to be. But you just need to split your market up and see where your position is. This, for example, is dog food. We've split it on ingredient quality and function. These are your traditional dog foods here, things like Pedigree and Bakers, which have crap ingredients and don't do anything. Historically, the more expensive dog foods have been these ones, which are the vet ones, which kind of do something. They offer a function to allegedly improve health. And that's how they're sold. In the last few years, there's been a big push, as with everything, to quality ingredients. When we looked at this, we're like, well, what happens when someone who's got this dog that's fed on these high quality ingredients, and this customer wants high quality ingredients, what happens when they've got a disease or an illness and they need something functional. They don't want to go back to something crap. So there's this massive gap up there. And when you look at it like that, it becomes really easy, and this is something both for you to work with, but also to show to your buyers. And you can show it really clearly. We showed that to our buyer at Cardo, and she said, don't be stupid, there's loads of brands that do that. How would everybody miss that space? And I was like, well, then name them. And we sat there for about 10 minutes and she was like, you know what, you're totally right, I don't know why no one else is doing this. And then we got this, which is great. The next thing is knowing your customer. And this is a really important thing to think about, which is tonight's about finding your gap in the market. And in a lot of ways, that's the wrong way to think about it. A gap in the market isn't necessarily a gap in the market. You've got to think of a gap in the market as a group of customers who aren't being served by what's on offer at the moment. You need to think from the customer's point of view, not from the market point of view, because the customer is the person that's going to buy your product. So with ours, we know our customers are higher disposable income, higher basket value, they read the label, they value quality ingredients, they try to be healthy, they know the dog's a member of the family, they understand vitamins and supplements and juices, and it's a fast-growing demographic. And this is a site that we use with major buyers, and we show kind of who this person is, and we know who that person is, so we know that they will buy our product. And we point out things that Nando's are launching quinoa salads, and apparently McDonald's are going to start doing kale shakes. That shows a market, to a buyer, and this shows who that person is. I mean, the vegan cookbook is the biggest selling cookbook of the year. It's all about healthy, functioning food, so we can show that this growing market, a growing number of people grow. And this is a really great slide. I'm not saying that I did it because it shows where we fit, where our products fit with everything else that's going on. And when you go into a buyer, you should have a slide like this. When we go to buyers and we say, look at your cordial aisle. It all used to be Robinsons and Ribena, and now it's beef cordials. Look at your cereal, it always used to be Kellogg's, and now it's Dorset cereals. Your baby food always used to be Cow & Gate, and now it's Ella's. But your dog aisle is all pedigree. What are you going to do about it? And buyers look at that and go, do you know what, you're totally right. We do need to change that, we know we need to change that, because it comes back to this gap being a customer. And what Claire's colleague Stephen's told me is everything is about basket value for supermarkets. They want an increased basket value. These products, that gives Tesco a much bigger basket value than somebody buying Ribena. The same with Dorset cereals, and that's what we're offering. We're trying to increase the amount of money that people spend in the supermarkets, because supermarkets want to earn lots of money. Simple as that. And this is another thing. Sorry, go on to the next slide, which explains this. Which is from Claire's colleague Stephen, who he said it again at the same grocer conference we were at. Your job is not to make products, is not to sell products. You've got to see your job as making a buyer's job easy. That should be your main focus. And what that means, and Claire kind of mentioned some of this, your product needs to fit on the shelf. And fit in two ways, as in it needs to fit in a category. I mean, I spoke to a friend of mine the other day who wants to launch a frozen sauce company. And that's fantastic, but there's no frozen sauce section in the supermarket. You launch an ambient sauce because that's where they are, or you launch frozen food because there's no buyer for frozen sauces. So it needs to fit in the category. It needs to fit on the shelf because there's no space there waiting for your products. You have to take someone else's out. And quite often you have to take someone else's out by the millimetre. So if your product is the same size as someone else's product that you can find out is not doing that well, you've got a really good argument to replace it. You need to improve the stats for the category. That could be rate of sale, that could be the amount of money in the basket. You need to have, and this is where a lot of people kind of fall down. You kind of go in and you're like, right, I've done a deal with the supermarket and they're going to buy it this much, and I make it this much, which means I've got all of this money in my margins. And then you get a call saying, right, you're going on promotion and you're funding that, And then they say, when you're on promotion, we're going to need some signage that you're on promotion, and you're funding that. You need to build all of that into your margins. And that we talked about replacing existing things. And then on the other side of making it easy is about your brand, which is something that customers will engage with emotionally, because that is going to help them get sales. You need to get your brand known. It's your job to get your brand known. It's their job just to put it on the shelf and make sure it's there. You need to be developing and having a good, clear mission and vision. And this comes to, again, something else Claire talked about, which is what your NPD net chain is. You need to have new products that come in, so that when you go in and go, right, I've got this great product and it's going to sell really well, that's brilliant. But once you've built that up, you need that customer to be buying more and more and more and more. And again, you don't want to be cannibalizing your own sales. You want that customer to be buying other things. There's no point in just bringing out another flavor if that means someone's going to stop buying your first flavor. You need to increase the amount that someone's spending. Right, these are my quick tips to finish with. Come to the next slide, please. This is improve, don't innovate. Everyone talks about being innovative and how everyone's got to be innovative and great. And as the guy from Tyrrell said, pioneers get shot by Indians, you need to be second. And I hope this slide explains it. This guy invented the light bulb. Invented the light bulb. This guy, Alan Turing, invented the computer. He died with £0 million. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. In today's money, he died with £37 million. And Tim Berners-Lee invented the internet. Fucking internet, he invented. He got £50 million. This guy here, worked out a way you could share pictures on his invention and has £44 billion. These two just made a way of searching his invention. He's got £33 billion each. And this guy down here, who everyone loves and reads his book, only 11 billion, but all he did is work out a way of using his invention on his invention. With his invention, he got 11 billion. So you don't need to be that innovative. It's not about innovative. It's just about improving. And when you go into a supermarket, you're going to be replacing someone's product. So you don't need to go, this is the best thing since sliced bread. You just need to go, it's a bit better than that one. So it's going to sell more than that one, get rid of that and put mine in. Really simple. Next. This is about knowing your goals. We worked with a government-funded thing called Growth Accelerator, which I massively recommend you getting involved with. You get about £3 worth of consultancy and you pay 600 quid for it. This is what they call an orbit template. I put a spider on it because I thought it looked like a spider, but it made it more interesting. But what you do is you write this out, and this is year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and in all the different areas, you put what you will need. So, for example, if you want total turnover to be 10 million in 5 years, you can break that up into kind of 2, 3, 6, 8, 10 million. And when you break it down, you're like, oh, actually, we could probably get to 2 million within 2 years. And then don't worry about how you're going to get to 10 million, because that's all in your plan. And you work out what percentage of that's going to be export and what percentage of that's going to be online sales. So when we had it, I think we wanted to get our online sales from up to 2 million in 10 years, I think it was. And that seemed really difficult, but actually, we worked it out, we needed to get from 14 grand to 19 grand a month within a year. That's not that difficult. Once you're working on a smaller thing, a small achievable thing, you know what you're doing. And then what staff you're going to need, who your main customers are going to be, what products you're going to have. Everyone talks to us about launching a cat brand, even though we've got Pooch Mutt. We've got that, but we've got it in year 5, so we don't concentrate on that for now. So this helps you focus what you're going to do. This is, I think, really important PR-wise, which is that your mission, which is to help, for us, is to help dogs lead happy, healthy lives. That goes beyond just your products. So we sponsor an event called Canicross, which is across the country, 12 events a year, 10 races per event of people running with their dogs, because that helps dogs lead happy, healthy lives. I've done Ironman, well, half Ironman and marathons to raise money for dog charities. We give a lot of money to dog charities. We have some products where specifically rated to raise money for dog charities. I give the money away, our staff give the money away, and we even, this is one of our customers who we said on Facebook, who's near this rescue centre, we want to give them some money, and they go down and do it. And even getting the staff involved, this is doing an obstacle race, again, about being happy and healthy, so everyone is joined into the mission, and we're all going in the right way. And this is my final slide. I went to a talk a couple of years ago with Darren Brown at the School of Life. I would recommend the School of Life to everybody. Darren Brown was talking about the Stoic philosophers, and I liked what he was saying. I'd never really heard of them. Looked into it. There's a really good book by William B. Irvine, which explains all about Stoic philosophy. It's the most practical philosophy you'll ever read. And these are the three kind of key players in Stoics. Seneca said, if one does not know to which point one is sailing, no wind is favourable. And this goes back to the orbit template. You need a goal. That's all he's saying, is have a goal, because otherwise, whatever you do is pointless, because you don't know that you're working towards your goal. Secondly, you have power over your mind, not the outside events. Realise this, and you will find strength. This is Marcus Aurelius. He's the guy that died at the beginning of Gladiator. This is really important, because what you can do is you can get really stressed by a lot of stuff that you cannot control. And it's really simple. You break things up into things you can control and things you can't control. If a buyer says to you, we don't have a range review for 12 months, and I don't really want your products in that anyway, you can't control when their range review is. You're not going to get into that store for 12 months. You can change your products and adapt them so that when they do have a range review, you're in a good place. But you're not. And if they say no, they say no. You can wait for a new buyer to come in. But there's no point in getting stressed about it. If you have problems with production, which everybody does, you have problems with delivery, you have problems with production, don't get stressed about it. Realise what you can control and what you can't control. If you can't control it, don't get stressed about it. If you can control it, do something about it. It's that simple. And this is Epictetus, which is probably the most important one, which is, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. And this comes back, I think, to kind of a research angle as well, which is when you're small, try stuff. It doesn't matter if you fail. No one cares. We've had products that have failed. We've had products that have been successes. When we launched our food, we launched 5 of them. I was really sure which 2 would. Waitrose said we'll put 2 in the store. You choose which ones that you think are going to be the best, the biggest selling. We got it totally wrong. But it's fine. We tried it, we got it wrong, and we said, look, we're wrong, can we change it? They said, yeah, we can change it. Now our rate of sales huge, and they're really happy. So just this, all that means is just do stuff and don't worry. And final slide. Oh yeah, this is my pre-final slide. Sorry. Enjoy yourself. And if you don't enjoy yourself, go and work for someone else, because you'll get paid more and it'll be easier and it'll be less stressful. Have fun, or work for someone else. And this is the final slide. This is where you can find out all about Pooch Mutt. Tell anyone who's got a dog. Simple as that thing.